Now on CoastTV News.
Delaware data centers.
We might as well figure out a way to let them in.
Where in the first state is being targeted? Super speeders bill.
Because if they're driving recklessly the whole time, they may think that's the norm.
How new technology must be installed into speeders' cars.
Right now, we're tracking one of the driest springs ever, and it's not looking good.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Lawmakers in Dover proposing a sweeping package of property reassessment bills. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Brandon Ferguson. We begin with breaking down that package of bills. Delaware lawmakers are moving forward with that package aimed at fixing concerns from the statewide property reassessment process. The bills come after reassessments in all three counties, including the first in Sussex County since 1974. Lawmakers say the process left many property owners with higher taxes, especially in Newcastle County. The package includes tax rate flexibility, new permit data requirements, senior tax relief, and two working groups to look at long-term property tax reforms. All 6 pieces of legislation are now in the House Administration Committee. Here in Sussex County, this reassessment was especially notable because property values had not been updated countywide in 50 years. Lawmakers say the statewide process raised concerns about tax burdens, accuracy, and how reassessment should be handled moving forward. And we have full story right now on the reassessment bills right now on CoastTV.com. Artificial intelligence may power the future, but Kent County leaders say the infrastructure behind it could soon be headed here. A proposed ordinance would create new regulations for data centers, including rules on where they can be built and how they meet their energy needs. County Commissioner Jody Sweeney says the county is trying to prepare now for an industry he believes is inevitable.
This ordinance helps us address how we're going to bring data centers into Kent County, how we're going to let them into Kent County, and we know they're coming. We might as well figure out a way to let them in.
Officials plan to tour an existing facility and say they will continue working with Kent County to make sure community concerns are addressed before any actual decisions are made. The ongoing drought conditions have prompted a drought watch by Governor Matt Meyer, meaning voluntary water conservation, especially for outdoor use like watering your lawn or your plants, and the weather is hurting local businesses.
It's labor intensive. It's also a strain on the well because we're running irrigation pretty much 24 hours a day trying to keep up with the demand for the plant material.
If severe drought conditions persist, DNREC could elevate the region to a drought warning or even a drought emergency. And for more on that, we're going to take a live look outside into Milford and bring in First Alert Chief Meteorologist for a look at our dry forecast. Good evening, Paul.
Well, we're actually tracking the second driest spring on record, departure from norm, over 6 inches. And so far, we've already clocked 5 1/4. That's just how dry we have been. Now, as you take a look, we're under what's called a severe drought. This is updated for today, for Thursday. This is updated every Thursday, and it involves the entire Delmarva Peninsula. Now, we're not at extreme drought or exceptional drought, but we're really climbing the scale, and we don't really want to go any higher on this. As far as any kind of rain in the immediate future, I just ran the models a few moments ago. We might Saturday night have an isolated shower, and we might Wednesday night have an isolated shower. But this is in the 20 to 40 percentile range, and notice we barely hit 20 on Saturday, and we barely over 20 for Wednesday. And this is a reflection of just where we've come from. Last month, all of the blanks that you see that are black here, those are places where we didn't even have a drop of rain. And the most rain we had was a ½ an inch once last month. The rest of the days we had 1/3 of an inch. The rest were 1/10 of an inch or less than that. So the drought situation is not going to be changing anytime soon. I mean, we're outside right now. We're looking dry at 68 degrees, for example, temperatures in the 60s, and we're about to get much warmer for the next few days. In addition to that, Brandon, we are now concerned about air quality because of how warm we are, and there's even complications dealing with pollens.
A lot to keep track of there, Paul. Thank you. And this brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know which outdoor water use should be reduced first. Let's take a look at the updated results from our 6 p.m. news hour. Lawn irrigation at 58%, 23% for pool filling. And if you haven't voted yet, you still can on coasttv.com or head on over to our mobile app. A new law aims to stop so-called super speeders in Maryland. The Intelligent Speed Assistance System pilot program will install devices in the cars of those at risk of having their license suspended or revoked. The technology uses GPS to determine what the speed limit is. Then it prevents the driver from going over. Wicomico County's Sheriff's Captain Rich Wurzburg says this device is another tool to make chronic speeders more aware of how fast they're really going.
Teach them to obey by the rules of the road, and then when they're driving, they can feel, okay, I'm actually doing the speed limit, and not get used to that higher rate of speed. Because if they're driving recklessly the whole time, they may think that's the norm, when truly it's not.
The law takes effect on October 1st of this year, and the program must fully be implemented within 1 year in Maryland. Worcester County prosecutors are revealing new information about an investigation into a school bus driver who admitted to consuming alcohol before transporting students in April, while also explaining why no criminal charges will be filed. According to investigators, they obtained footage showing the driver of the bus drinking at Ocean Downs Casino. The driver later blew a blood alcohol content of 0.08 and 0.089. The device had expired in September of 2025, making that evidence invalid. Maryland Governor Wes Moore made a trip to the Eastern Shore today for his part of Delivering for Maryland's tour. Governor Moore stopped at Salisbury University, taking a look at the progress at Blackwell Hall. The building has been undergoing major renovation, which is partly funded by the state. While there, we asked the governor about affordability and rising gas prices, including the fact that the gas tax in Maryland is set to go up next month.
Frankly, the thing that's really causing gas prices to go up is the fact that we're now fighting a war that none of us understand, but that we're all paying for.
The governor went on to say the state will continue to work to find a way to make life more affordable. The gas tax is expected to increase by a little more than half of a cent to 46.6 cents per gallon in Maryland. There's an effort in Delaware to outlaw dynamic pricing. House Bill 453 was introduced today. It would prohibit companies from using automatic systems and algorithms to set individual prices for consumers based on their data. Criticism has been growing around dynamic pricing nationwide as more companies use data to set different prices for the same item, but based differently on the person buying it. This bill would allow consumers the right to recover damages from violations in Delaware. In Dewey Beach, the ACLU of Delaware has won the release of body cam worn footage from the town's police department. The nonprofit had alleged that the town unlawfully denied access to that footage taken by officers. The ACLU leaders requested the footage after a report from 2025 that a group of people possibly faced racial discrimination. A death investigation is underway in Dover this afternoon. Delaware Capitol Police say a person was found dead in a wooded area behind the Dover DMV on Transportation Circle this morning. Police say the body was turned over to the Division of Forensic Science to determine the exact cause and manner of the death. The person's identity has not yet been released, and police say foul play is not suspected. Officials say there's no concern to the public. Staying in Dover, a teen is facing charges after police say they found several guns on him. Dover police say yesterday there was a gun-related argument involving children. Officers pulled over a vehicle tied to the incident driven by a 16-year-old. Officers say they found a concealed handgun on the teen and more guns inside the car. He now faces multiple gun charges in Kent County. Community leaders in Laurel taking a stand against gun violence this week, and Community Violence Now and Operation West Laurel will host a press conference unveiling new community gardens and murals in honor of 2 Laurel High School students killed by gun violence back in 2023. A community basketball tournament and other anti-violence events are also planned. Those events are set to take place across Friday and Saturday. The first legal victory against one of President Trump's perceived enemies, John Bolton, one of his strongest critics, now facing up to 5 years in prison and a $2 million fine. And we have new reporting tonight on the man the president just announced he'll nominate to lead the Justice Department, his former personal attorney, Todd Blanche. Garrett Hake is covering it all from the White House.
And John, I want to thank
Tonight, a major reversal for a former top Trump official charged with mishandling classified information. Two sources familiar with the matter tell NBC News President Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton, will now plead guilty to one count of retaining national security information in a deal with federal prosecutors. Bolton, a fierce critic of the president,
I think it is a retribution presidency.
Will now pay more than $2 million in restitution and faces up to 5 years in prison. President Trump had blasted Bolton after his October indictment.
I think he's a bad guy. Yeah, he's a bad guy. It's too bad.
The plea deal marks a first legal victory in the administration's multifaceted campaign against Trump critics and comes after President Trump announced he'll nominate acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, once his personal defense attorney, to become the permanent AG.
Todd is very popular. He's doing great.
That announcement meeting with stiff opposition from Democrats.
Todd Blanche should not be Attorney General. He is the personal attorney of the president.
But Republicans predicting he'll make it through a confirmation battle.
He's honest, he's ethical. I think he'll do a good job.
And amid bipartisan pushback to his pick of Housing Chief Bill Pulte to be acting Director of National Intelligence, the president saying today that posting will be temporary.
It's not a permanent position. We're interviewing people right now.
Coming up, Georgetown growth, the decisions being made that could shape the town for years to come. Coming up in sports, we hit the links, how you can improve your golf game with tips from Salisbury University golf coach Dalton Deardoff. Paul Williams is in the CoastTV First Alert Weather Center. He is the latest on our drought watch that is in effect across Delaware. We look back on American history on Delmarva. We tell you the story of the Milford 11. That and more as CoastTV News at 11 continues with a local bilingual author that is inspiring young readers with her second children's book, how she hopes to empower kids to embrace their differences. That's up next when we are back in just 60 seconds.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
A local bilingual author originally from Puerto Rico recently released her second book. Coast TV's Ana Sofia Roman introduces us to the author and the inspiration behind this new publication.
¿Cuánto te amo, pero ¿cuándo vas a dejar de competir con la alarma?
Melanie Figueroa reads from her most recent book, My Super Dog or Mi Super Perro. For Figueroa, writing was something she once struggled with in school. Now, she sees it as a way to give back.
I'm a true believer of, bilingual education and the power it has, not only here in the United States, but across nations. And as you can imagine, for me as a young person, it is my opportunity to plant a seed, not only on this generation, which is the present, but also, on the future.
The book, written for children ages 4 to 6, focuses on the power of being different.
We live in a society and we get so much messages out there from social media, from everywhere actually, about, hey, to be able to achieve something, you just need to be like everybody else. You just need to be on the same wave. But the reality is that we were born, different. God created us with particular purposes, with beautiful designs, and that is actually our superpower.
Figueroa says she hopes parents, grandparents, and other adults who read the book with children connect with its message.
I will tell you that it was God-given. It was inspired by Him. It went pretty quickly, the process of writing. It took me approximately 1 hour.
A bilingual author sharing her passion in the first state and beyond. For Coastal Connections, I'm Ana Sofia Roman.
America 250 on Delmarva, brought to you by County Bank.
In 1954, 11 teenagers, who would later be known as the Milford 11, made history in Delaware by attempting to integrate the all-white Milford High School.
3 months after the landmark ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court, a petition was submitted to the Milford Board of Education requesting integration. On September the 8th, 11 African-American 10th grade students were admitted to the district's high school located at Lakeview Avenue. It led to opposition to desegregation and the closure of the school. The situation escalated when the founder of the National Association for the Advancement of White People, Brian Bowles, rallied thousands of supporters to keep segregation in Milford. There was an attempt to reopen the school later that month. Less than a third of Milford students attended. Other schools in Sussex County closed as a result. Due to concerns for the safety of the Milford 11, they were removed from the school and enrolled in schools in Dover and Georgetown. It would take another 8 years until integration of schools in Milford resumed. A historical marker at the school honors the Milford 11 and their legacy.
It's a complicated world where everything feels louder and faster. The headlines, the noise, the constant change. But here along the water, where the trees bend with the wind and the sun still finds its way through, something calmer endures. Neighbors helping neighbors, local businesses thriving, a community deeply rooted. Even in a complicated world, what matters most hasn't changed. County Bank, 35 years of growing something bigger than ourselves. County Bank, member FDIC.
The irony of our forecast is that the actual forecast is gorgeous, but because of the lack of rain for such an extended period of time, we're actually in jeopardy across the entire Delmarva Peninsula. And I'll show you what I mean in just a moment. In Ocean City, we're at 67 degrees, and we're going to drop down to 62 with mostly clear skies by 3 o'clock. We have a newly issued air quality alert. Forces and Sussex really kicks in for Friday and going into Saturday, and it may be extended. It's for Sussex, but it's also inclusive of Kent as well as Newcastle, and goes into the Philadelphia area and over towards D.C. A trough is just kind of bridging the gap, so to speak, but that air quality concern is really throughout the entire peninsula and of great concern. Now, right now we're still at moderate levels, but we're going to be upgraded to unhealthy for some, or orange, by tomorrow, okay? That means people with heart, lung disease, older adults and children should limit outdoor activity. We warmed up to 88 degrees in Georgetown today. That's not a record setter, but it is warmer than usual. 79 is where we're supposed to be for this time of the year. We're going to expect temperatures to settle into the 60s for the overnight. Another problem actually is grass is at extreme levels. Trees are at high levels, so the sneezecast or allergy index is climbing as well. So you combine that with the air quality, and you really have a chronic problem with folks who have problems with their lungs for the next couple of days. It's going to be a bit difficult for some folks, even though it's going to be a bright and beautiful looking day. 66 in Georgetown, 63 at Ocean Pine, 62 currently in Willards, and 64 in Gumboro. For Friday, for the coast, we're warming up everywhere. Now, typically we're a little cooler on the beaches and the inland areas, but for the beach, for example, in Lewis, we're going to warm up to 91 degrees, which bodes well to everybody being a little bit warmer than usual, but everybody's dry. Very much so. We're under a severe drought for the entire Delmarva Peninsula because of the lack of rain. 94 for the high in Lewis, 91 for the high in Seaford, 91 for the high in Vienna, 86 for us in Cambridge, 91 in Snow Hill, and 92 for the high in Berlin. Now, just kind of give you an illustration of how we are lacking rain. Your personal garden, you're going to need to water it for the next 5 days in a row, if not longer than that. You see, because we start off Friday and end up in the 90s, right? For Friday, no rain. We go through Saturday, morning time, 70s, evening time, near 90s again. No rain in the forecast for foreseeable future. As you take a look at your 7-day forecast, we will see the temperatures drop dramatically for us going into Monday because of the chance of rain on Sunday. But even that chance of rain on Sunday is now dwindling down to 30% and falling.
Thank you, Paul. Georgetown is putting its future on the map. Town leaders are reviewing and updating the future land use map As a part of a required 5-year update by the state, the comprehensive plan, which guides where homes, businesses, and develop could land in the years ahead. Coast TV News reporter Nicole Richter shows us what the community thinks about how the town is growing.
Locals may help draw the lines in Georgetown and where development could go. The town is planning updates to its future land use map, a document that acts like a roadmap for where housing, businesses, and development could go in the years ahead.
The traffic's horrible. Horrible.
Right now, property owners can request to rewrite their corner of the map, requesting changes to how their land could be used down the line. And for people around town, the future feels personal.
We have a lot of cleanup we need to do before any businesses are going to be interested in coming this way. And the traffic is a big deal.
Others say the map isn't just about change, it's about chance, an opportunity to plan for what Georgetown is becoming. This map shows the town boundaries in red, and the black boundaries show where Georgetown could annex land into town limits.
I think a lot of places are growing, so you get more people in, brings money in, you get new businesses, so some growth is good, but you got to keep the infrastructure in line with that so that we can get around on a daily basis.
Town leaders say they are keeping an eye on the map, expecting new growth to be proposed.
Growth is certainly important to the tax base, ensuring that the town can provide adequate services to its citizens and residents. But it's always, you have to balance it with the, making sure that the growth is appropriate and that the development is sort of meeting all the needs of its residents as well.
Town leaders say this isn't about changing Georgetown overnight. It's about setting the blueprint for what comes next.
Requests must be submitted by June 8th, after which the town's planning commission will make recommendations to the town council for final approval. In Georgetown, Nicole Richter, Coast TV News.
Tonight in sports, we are going golfing. With summer rapidly approaching, why not brush up on the essentials for your golf game? I could sure use that. That's why DSN's Darren Wallace hit the links with Salisbury University golf coach Dalton Deardoff to work on hitting irons in the latest DSN demonstration.
Welcome back to another DSN demonstration with myself, Darren Wallace, and the head coach of the Salisbury Golf, we could say program, because you do run the men's and women's teams, yes, Dalton Deardoff, who was so kind to come out here and watch me shank some golf balls. But in all seriousness, obviously the weather's turning, we're getting it, it's nice. June now, so obviously all you guys at home, you want to work on your golf game, so I figured why not allow me to be a vessel, and Coach Deardoff here can kind of walk me through, what to do when we're out on the golf course this summer. So Coach, I'll step aside and let you take it away as we get into a little wedge work.
Excited to have you out here, man. We're at Green Hill, which is our home club, which is always fun to be out here. It's the summer, so the kids are home, but there's never any better time to work on the golf game than right now before it gets nice and hot and you want to get out for a good round. So let's jump into it. We've got some wedges in our hand, which is always a great place to start. If you're on the range, you're on the short game facility here. So we're going to start at like 80 yards, which I don't know what wedge you have in your hand, but it's always a good distance to kind of just, like we were just saying, get the back loose, get the legs loose a little bit. Right. So go ahead and take a few reps. Let's see what we're working with here. The worst thing you want to do is just come out of the cart, come out of the trunk, and say, how hard can I hit this thing? So the next like 2 or 3, I don't want you to change anything. We're just gonna swing with like 60% power. Nice and smooth, good tempo. The secret to the golf swing is we want to time the hands, the hips, and the legs up. So we gotta have a nice smooth tempo to let us do that.
Okay, I think I might have taken a little too much off, but gotta find that middle ground, right?
I always like to say too, it's 60% on the takeaway, but we can still be nice and aggressive on the follow through.
I think we found the problem. If you're tall, you can't play with short clubs.
The evidence in a well-fit club.
It makes your life harder. There we go. Well. That was a little bit of iron work, a little wedge game. Coach, how would you rate my job with the...
You can check out that full demonstration on dsn.com. Researchers in Finland say that bumblebees are capable of a form of advanced problem solving called insight. Listen to this. It shows an understanding of cause and effect without relying on trial and error or copying others. It's the type of reasoning that has only been observed in animals like apes, elephants, and some birds. Some scientists say it should prompt others to reconsider how much intelligence can be squeezed into that tiny little brain. How about that? Let's now take a live look outside, and after the break, we will have a full look at your forecast and that drought situation.
In Salisbury right now, it's 62 degrees. We'll drop and stay in the lower 60s for the rest of the evening under mostly clear skies. We have a newly issued air quality alert that's due to just the dry air we've had, the dry conditions we've had, and now the temperature is escalating as well. And this is for the entire state, so please be mindful of that. Our umbrella giveaway winner is Pat Russler of Lewis. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis, property restoration experts. Keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line, sponsored by the law offices of Brockstead, Mandalis, and Federico. The number to call is 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away. And we have a special report on that line, specifically about the drought situation and the drought watch that's in effect for our area. And we're going to be in the 90s for the next 3 days before we drop a little bit on Monday.
Thank you, Paul, and thanks for joining us for Coast TV News at 11. For more news and local weather, you can download our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon, is up next. We'll see you tomorrow morning for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.